He just said boxes, and I'm a little bit triggered right now.
The next tip is very important. That is exaggerating your poses and proportions of your characters.
Oh my god. Shit big. He's saying to exaggerate the proportions and the poses of your characters. Now this makes sense in certain scenarios. Obviously if you're drawing a stylized character, this makes sense because you want to push the proportions to make them look visually interesting and iconic. But if you're drawing a more realistic character, this tip might not really apply, but I think overall it's still a pretty solid tip.
And the last and final tip is clothing. Clothes and weapons also help with the character development. Just Google or Pinterest for it.
Last tip was clothing. I didn't really see the point in the last tip. Like, what, you just gotta put clothes onto your characters? No shit. Not as solid as the first video I saw of this guy, but still pretty good. I can give that a 6 out of 10. Oh my goodness. Deadly art mistakes. Wow. I'm hooked.
Number 1. Skipping the basics. Anatomy perspective ain't sexy, but they're the crucial foundation all of your art is built upon. Build that foundation by practicing drawing shapes and perspective and doing anatomy studies every day.
I like that, okay? You gotta build the foundation. Don't skip the foundation. Very good, very good.
Minutes a day minimum will completely transform your art as long as you put in all.
Yes, 10 minutes a day will transform your art. That's... Oh, so good. Oh, the video stopped. There was only one mistake he mentioned in this video. I thought it was going to be multiple because it said deadly art mistakes. Super good tip. But 1 out of 10 for clickbaiting me. Oh, so this one's more like motivational stuff. Stop saying I hate it, I can't draw. Stop saying my art sucks. Stop saying everyone is better than me. Pretty good start. Yes! You have to do this, okay? So this, oh, that's so good. Okay, so when you're drawing something and you're like, I don't like this piece. Instead of just saying, I hate myself, I'm going to quit art forever now, and I'm going to delete my Instagram account, ask yourself, why don't I like this piece? What is it about this piece that's bothering me? Could it be the eyes of the character? Could it be the proportions of the character? Could it be my rendering or my stylization? What is it that I don't like in this drawing? And that is going to tell you about your weaknesses as an artist, and it's going to give you some things that you could actually work on. So if you don't like a drawing that you made, don't let it be something that is, instead, make it something productive. And the last point in this video was to be patient with yourself. Very good point. You gotta be patient with yourself. Art is gonna take a serious amount of time for you to improve. So don't expect results overnight, but instead, when you look back on your work from maybe a couple months ago or even a year ago, you're gonna see the differences if you keep putting in the work. It's really a grind. It's just like working out. You know, your arm.
In light of your unique situation, joining us as a 5th year, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success. A lot to absorb on your first day. Can't believe I'm here.
Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum.
You have much to learn.
You have the benefit of an exceptionally skilled team of witches and wizards to guide you.
A surprise opponent is a weak opponent.
They will test your abilities, both innate and learned.
You've done it! I am wary of how much time the new 5th year seems to be spending away from the castle.
No need for theatrics. I'm not here for this one anyway.
What do they want with a Hogwarts student?
I have a rare ability to see whispers of ancient magic. Extraordinary. It's a powerful one that should only be wielded by a select few. The path we're on is terribly dangerous. But I do not know where it leads. afraid. You're on your own. I'm ensured that we have a moment to ourselves.
Let's see the horse, shall we?
We leave our legacy in your hands.
Hey, bro, this call me when you like, this tell me when you like, cool, like, later. Right now you look fucked up. Alright. Like, damn, bro, these girls are school. I ain't gonna do that. Why y'all do
PlayStation.
So what makes this special? I mean, there are wind turbines out there. There are vertical axis wind turbines out there. What is special about this one?
So we've got the ability, unlike anyone else out there right now, because of our patented technology, to reduce our size in high winds and keep right on producing full power through storms that you normally have to be that other turbines have to be shut down for, or it destroys them.
Wow.
Yeah.
But what about the noise? Often when you drive out into the country and there's those big wind farms, when you... What are you doing?
Listening. There's no noise. Even in 20, 25, 30 mile an hour winds, every test we've done so far, no noise.
Right. Wow. That's
It's
awesome.
because our whole geometry, everything about our design is different than wind turbines out there. And that's all I'm going to say about it. We're very different in the way we capture wind.
So this is sort of like...
A
You
work
just
of art?
started from scratch and made this work of art. It's very pretty to look at, and I'm not an artist, but if you get artsy people around this, can you imagine what all they would do with it, like paint?
It's not going to get huge after one session at the gym. You got to be consistent, you got to go repeatedly, you got to form good habits, and you got to be patient with yourself. That's a very good video. 10 out of 10. Good job.
Here's one shape element that you can mark. Draw two squiggles that come to a point. Then just continue it from the inside and repeat the pattern. You can use this technique for grass, hair, ribbons, bandages, and even horns. You can shade roughly or take a fancier approach.
I mean, that's good.
Here's 5 common anatomy mistakes.
Oh, let's go. 5 common anatomy mistakes. I can't wait.
Number 1, completely forgetting about the forehead. We can't ignore this any longer. It's like you karate chopped a cerebellum. Just remember that the eye is usually in the middle of that guide circle, and the mouth is at the bottom. Number 2.
That's kind of facts, actually. So if you look at what used to be my enemy here, look at how big that top of the skull is, right? Look at how much brain. I see a lot of people put art into my roast sessions, and I keep having to point out the fact that you gotta put a cranium in there. You can't forget about the roundness of the skull. You gotta keep that in mind. Don't chop the head off.
Is drawing only with straight lines. Rarely anything on the human body is a straight line. And this is due to the shape of our muscles, which we won't get into right now.
This is something that I think is a little bit more subjective. I know there are artists out there who like to use more rigid lines. I know there are artists who like to put more structure into their drawings. For example, there's that artist whose name I'm blanking on who did the concept artwork for The Last of Us Part 2. And you can see right here that their work is very much composed of straight lines. So there's something that's a little bit more subjective. You know, it depends on your style. You don't have to curve your lines if you don't want to. You can, you know, you don't have to use straight lines if you don't want to. You can do whatever you want.
Drawing a smile with all the teeth is 110%.
Oh.
You can leave some space and it'll look amazing.
Yeah, number 3 is a good point. Drawing a smile with all the teeth, okay? Whenever I'm drawing a smile, I usually just put the teeth as one big white slab instead of drawing the individual teeth. You know, that's usually what makes smiles look so creepy.
I used to do this too, but a foot has curves in it. It's like a triangular shape. I can't.
I don't know too much about feet.
Drawing a body one part at a time. Draw the form before the details, and I promise it'll look...
Yeah, this, you gotta set down the foundation before you draw the details. Okay, so this is, she's saying not to start with small details and go one part at a time, and the next thing you know, your character's got a huge lower body, but their upper body is like tiny because you got carried away. Good points. I feel like this person, Sparkit, knows what they're doing. I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10. If it weren't for your hate towards straight lines, I would have given you a 10 out of 10.
I find myself repeating this tip a lot when I'm doing photo reviews with students. So basically, when you're designing a character, you should be able to identify the 3 biggest points of contrast or tension. See, face falls within the triangle. It even works with really simple artwork. So at what point did you realize that this was a fake tip? I see this on the internet like all the time. Just be critical of the art advice you're getting online.
Jihad is in the first half. That's a very good video. She made her point. Okay, like at first I was like, what triangle? I've never heard of this method. Turns out it's a fake art tip, and I think this is a good video to end on. Here's the thing, okay? You gotta be critical of the art advice that you're finding online, even of my art advice. Anybody else out there who claims to be a professional artist or whatever, be critical of it. Make sure that you're taking from the people online the things that are actually helpful to you. Don't just blindly follow everything everybody says. 10 out of 10. This is a very good way to end this episode of me rating TikTok art tips. So, closing thoughts, TikTok is probably not the best place for you to learn how to draw, but there are some people who are giving very solid pieces of advice. The main problem with you babies trying to learn how to draw on TikTok is there's only like 10 to 30 seconds of footage, so when you're covering the information in that short of a video, you're not going to be able to cover all the nuances surrounding the topic. It's good entertainment though, and this is a world that I haven't really been exposed to in the past, so you know, it's interesting seeing what the kids are seeing nowadays, and it's interesting. But I hope you guys like my take on some of these pieces of advice. There are a lot of things that I agree with here, and a lot of things that I don't, and you might actually disagree with me on some of these points here. So honestly, you guys, make sure you're just doing whatever works for you. Okay, everybody works a little bit differently. This is just one person's opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a way to do things. Everybody functions a little bit differently, but if you draw boxes on your characters, you need to get some help. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this was fun. I hope you learned something new from this children's platform called TikTok. And if you want to see more art content, feel free to subscribe to my channel. With that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Honestly, guys, TikTok art tips weren't as bad as I expected. Pretty good. Pretty good. You're gonna poop.
Come to TurboTax.
I've returned art tips from someone paying $12,000 to do art. Let's go. I have a drawing I'm about to plagiarize.